everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. Today, Jen and I just got back from the movie theater where we saw the new M. Night Shyamalan thriller, Old. It's a very, very unique and original movie, which I enjoy. I know M. Night Shyamalan kind of has a weird reputation of having twists at the end and his movies being kind of hit or miss. What did you think of it overall?
Some of the positives was just the storyline in general. I thought it was very, very unique. I really didn't know what was gonna happen next. And I did have a feeling that the sister and the brother were gonna be the remaining survivors. You're watching someone go through their lifetime within just a couple hours. It puts everything in perspective, honestly. You really think about your life and like the quality of your life and what you are doing, the things that you worry about, the things that you don't worry about. I also liked just a wide range of characters in this movie. I mean, you had the blonde bimbo type character where you didn't like her right off the bat. I thought her way of dying was grotesque and odd. And then you also had her husband, who was a doctor, and he ended up suffering from some sort of mental illness. I like how right away they kind of sprinkled in just a hint of that. You know, he kept asking, there was this Jack Nicholson movie, what was it? And it was just over and over again, and right off the bat I was like, ooh, that's gonna be connected to something, and sure enough it was. I like the main family. Obviously they have some serious issues going on within their marriage. And then you find out that she apparently had an affair, but it was related to her finding out that she had a tumor. And I absolutely loved her husband. There was a moment where he was like, I saw text messages. Basically, he found out that there was someone else and he didn't say anything. He knew about it the entire time. And again, it's one of those things where like it puts everything in perspective about your family, about your relationships. And then the big reveal was the resort was behind this almost pharmaceutical company, it seems, and they're trying to develop medicines. They're testing it on the people that are put on the beach. And they're able to go through these tests and trials in a short amount of time for them, but obviously it's a lifespan for the people that are on the beach. And that was a very, very fascinating to me. The entire time they were going through that, I was just like, very juicy, very good. Some of the negatives, some of the acting was not as on point as I thought it was going to be. There was a couple moments where it was almost laughable, just the way that it was presented. One of them was the blonde bimbo, the way that she was in the caves and she was like, don't look at me, don't look at me. I couldn't take it seriously. And it didn't seem like it was supposed to be comical, but it almost came off as comical. Another thing that came off as comical to me was Trent and his girlfriend. They come out of their tent and they're like, hey guys, and she's like 8 months pregnant or something. I don't know if it was supposed to be taken seriously, but again, it came off as comical. It kind of made me chuckle a little bit. But overall, I thought it was very interesting. Great storyline. I wish there was more movies that were as unique as this.
I've also grown to kind of appreciate films like this. I feel like we're in this sort of space with movies where it's all sequels and part of franchises, and as much as I enjoy those, we no longer really have just original films. M. Night has always made original films, some of which do well and are received well, some of which get hit with all kinds of criticism. So I can appreciate filmmakers today that are still making original films. I really enjoyed the premise of this idea that they're stuck in this area. I have like this way of like putting myself, like if I was one of the characters, what would I do? You know, and they seem to have like exhausted all their options given their circumstance. They tried going through the little cavern, they tried climbing up, they tried swimming out, ultimately just being stuck there. So that kind of gives this sense of claustrophobia, like you just cannot leave. They made some points earlier on in the movie about how they all sort of had these medical conditions, so we knew from one way or another that was involved. As Jen said, the twist being that they were testing these medicines and they could do long-term trials, you know, in a day. I liked sort of the part where they come out of the tent and they're holding hands and she's like obviously pregnant. I knew that they were gonna do something like that. I even commented as like, if I was working on the screenplay for the movie, that's something I would do too. You know, make them get pregnant and then show in 20 minutes the baby's gonna be born. So I'm glad that they did that. And then nothing ended up happening with that. That sequence happened and then they moved on. M. Night is known for having these twists. I guess the medicine thing was sort of like the twist. They were sort of alluding to it throughout because they were, you know, he even pointed out those are cameras up there that are watching us. So I figured it was some sort of testing or some sort of trials of some kind. The medicine thing being just letting us know through exposition. I liked that they had the two kids actually survive and come. Normally, I think in a movie like this, you'd have the two kids come out, they show up at the resort, and then it would like cut there, you know, so we don't know what happens. But they actually show like them giving the notebook to like the police guy. They show like them flying over and being like, we're gonna take care of all this. So they kind of they did wrap it up. A good thing I like about M. Night is that everything seems very, very intentional with how they handle everything. So like the kids asking the adults throughout, you know, what do you do? What's your occupation? What do you do for a living? It comes full circle because he knew that guy was a police officer. The bimbo and the daughter being there, and she's like, sit up straight so you don't hunch. And that's because she had a medical condition that would cause her to hunch in old age if she did not have her calcium. I really did enjoy it. I don't know if it's just because we haven't seen a whole lot of movies like this recently, but I hope that they keep making original movies like this. For me, I'd probably give this maybe about a 6.5 to 7, I would say. It was enjoyable, not perfect, but a welcome change to our traditional sequels and stuff. It was an original film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm gonna go with a 7. I'm glad I saw it. I feel like the most important message throughout this movie was just quality of time in your life, the things that you should be worried about, the things that you should not worry about. Obviously being most important, family. One of my favorite parts was where the husband Guy, it was towards the end of their life, and he looked at his wife and he goes, why were you trying to get off this beach again? And I thought that was so well placed because honestly, I mean, if you're gonna die, being on the beach with your family is not a bad way to go. So I really thought that was a good moment. I like the overall message of the movie. It kept me entertained. It kept me guessing more than anything. I did not know what was gonna happen next. And that's all I can hope for a movie, so I'm gonna go with 7.
If you saw Old, let us know what you thought of it down in the comments below. What you thought of some of our critiques and our opinions on it. Some of the scenes that we took maybe as comical or maybe took too seriously when it should have been comical. Let us know down below. If you did enjoy it, leave this video a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Consider subscribing if you want to see more fun content like this. We're hoping to do more movie reviews of stuff that we cannot do a My Girlfriend Watches or a reaction to, and just talk about the films themselves. Consider subscribing to my Patreon to get early access to select videos and other fun stuff. And as always, Jen and I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you in the next